All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on MMA.Unhinged. Today, I'm joined by one of a kind, Asa Ten Pow. It's absolutely fantastic to have you on the show. Thank you very much for coming. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
I'm really looking forward to this one. I had a lot of research to do on you, and I've learned a lot about you, and I'm really intrigued to see where you go from here. Titan FC 76 against Sean Mora. It's going to be a fantastic one. I can't wait for it. But first and foremost, I want to talk about the months and how it's been. I know there's been some unfortunate circumstances with your father, and I just want to know how you are and how are you feeling.
It's a long process. It's not easy, I guess. But yeah, just continuing to do better in my life and in my training, and looking forward to getting back into the competition.
Yeah, it's been a few months. December 17th, the last time you were in the cage. My condolences go to you and your family. I know it's a hard time, and I know you're going to make them proud whatsoever.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so as I was saying, December 17th was your last fight. The last time you stepped in the cage. That's been what, 4 months now. So it's been a long time outside the cage. When you get inside the cage, you're gonna feel maybe a little bit of rust in there. Maybe get off the jitters.
Yeah, I mean, I do this every day, so getting in there, it's a matter of just getting initiated into the fight. So won't be no rust.
Was it a longer hiatus than you wanted and initially expected?
I mean, of course, due to the circumstances, but everything's for a reason. I'm still on track for what I want to do, and yeah, just little bit of a setback, but it's just got to continue with it.
Yeah, on the topic of your last fight, it ended not the way you wanted it. 30 seconds in, you did land that legal blow. But when you look back at that, does it give you that experience, that lesson that now you will learn from in the future?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have to watch myself. I have to watch getting too carried away, possibly in the moment. So just it was nice to get a little bit of time in there. I wanted to get out quick, but yeah, just learning from that little mistake. I have to do better. I have to make sure I don't do that in the future. It's very detrimental to both sides, illegal blow and plus financial repercussions as well.
Yeah, and it was 30 seconds in, as I mentioned earlier. But that 30 seconds in, it kind of sprung out to me very quickly that you were the better fighter in that cage. Did you also feel that?
Yeah, of course. I felt going in there, I was already the better fighter. With his base and background, I've been doing this my whole life. So
So moving on to the all-important May 6th fight against Sean Mora at bantamweight. He's 2-0 and undefeated, just like yourself. How do you see this fight playing out?
yeah, Sean's a very good Olympian in judoka. He's I've watched a couple of his fights. He's very good at his takedowns, his game on the fence. Very good. I look forward to the strategy that I'm going to bring. You're going to get something exciting, of course. How the fight finishes, I believe there's going to be a finish. I don't believe it's going to go the whole distance.
Yeah, as you said there, it's going to go the whole distance. So you're expecting to hear the judges' scorecards, but I know that's not the when we see you fight, you're flashy, the kicks, your punches, you throw everything into everything. So I wouldn't be shocked here if there is a finish and it's your way. As you were talking about, Sean Mora is a Greco wrestler. He likes to get them takedowns, and I'm sure you're prepared for that during camp. I presume that you've had a long camp preparing for Sean. But yeah, this is a great match. I can't wait for it against Sean Mora. But I'm looking forward to this one. What are you expecting from Sean? As you were talking about, yeah, he's a wrestler. Are you expecting him to shoot?
I mean, I expect it all. I expect to play my game and put it where I want to put it. So whether he's shooting or standing up, I'll dictate.
Yeah, I mean, with your background, your kickboxing and Muay Thai background, I presume a lot of fighters ain't gonna want to stand with you.
Yeah, you never know. It's MMA.
Are these the type of fights that you enjoy, where you're gonna have a wrestler and you know he's gonna come forward and you know he's gonna look for your legs?
Are these the type of fights that I like? These are the type of fights that I need.
Yes.
I need to get better. So, um, I mean, my ideal fight is a world championship. So,
Yeah, as you mentioned there, you put it on the nail on the head. Really, these are the type of fights that you probably need in your career moving forward. We've seen him with kickboxing and Muay Thai world champions transitioning over to MMA. These are the type of fights that they needed. So ultimately, it's going to help you for your future.
yes, sir.
So moving on to, obviously I talked about your Muay Thai and your kickboxing world championship world background. How do you see these skills helping you transition over to MMA? I know the striking is already going to be there.
Yeah, it's I mean, I've been competing and doing martial arts since I was a kid. So like throwing punches and kicks has always been my thing. Developing it for MMA has always been on the back end, but always something I've been developing as I've been continuing with my Muay Thai and kickboxing and boxing. So I look forward to my style getting to be presented out there for everybody and to see a different, maybe not a different striking style, but just something a little bit more technical, more geared towards MMA as far as striking goes.
Yeah, you mentioned it there. You've got to kind of change your style for more suited to MMA. So, what have been the hardest challenges that? How have you managed to change your style to more to suit MMA more?
Well, be a really good athlete. Um, outside of the detailed stuff of particulars like stance training and striking and wrestling and putting all that together. Um, just getting used to the pacing, how the rounds are, understanding, a little bit of the statistics of things like guys shooting versus striking, guys landing versus striking, takedowns versus striking, stuff like that. Is a different strategy, is a different mindset coming into it. So I look forward to, testing my mental out, getting that ring IQ in there, cage IQ, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see you put on display once again. We've seen kickboxing and Muay Thai world champions transition over to MMA. But has there been one that really stood out for you that was an inspiration?
I mean, I liked when Kung Lee came over. I think he definitely came in way too late, but it was fun. I think he was a big inspiration for me. So I think his style from Sanchal would have done really well in MMA early on. Yeah, just I like the traditionalists. George St. Pierre. I like his mental game, his approach towards fighting. Um, and yeah, and I like the way Conor McGregor does business, as far as like not the way he talks, but as far as the way he gets his brand and he does that. So those those things I'm looking to apply when I get deep into this MMA game.
Well, as you mentioned there, you eventually you will get to deep into the MMA game, so that kind of gives it away. So ultimately, the goal is maybe the UFC, the Bellator.
Yeah, yeah, whoever, whoever gives the right business, model for me to grow, not only myself but my business, my gym, my other things, my other endeavors. So whichever model can help me with that, I'll definitely take a hard look at.
Yeah, and I've got to say to you now, I feel like the One Championship, that way they promote themselves over there. I think, and with your heritage, I think that would be a perfect scene for you.
Yeah, we've looked into them, and kickboxing and Muay Thai is there. They need to know I'm doing MMA now too, and so maybe they'll want to bring me over. Who knows?
Yeah, and just before I let you go, I talked about your heritage there, and before we went on there, you told me that you had a dual nationality. You're half English and half American. I just want to learn more about you. So tell me more about your heritage and how you got into mixed martial arts.
My father was born in British Guyana in South America. When the UK opened up for pretty much the colonies to come work for work, they upped and left, and my dad um, got made his life there in England, his first part of life, and then when he came over to America, he at the time it was a little bit easier to get a dual citizenship, so he was able to get me a dually, and but I was born here in America, and from there I started martial arts when I was 5, and in pretty much like karate, like a hybrid style of karate up in Portland, Oregon, and soon enough left there to Florida, where I pretty much have stayed. It's where I've grown up. But we started doing traditional kung fu in Broward County in Florida, and that's like by Miami and stuff. It's yeah, we gotta say that. Um, yeah, so since then I was doing traditional martial arts for the longest, but throughout my teenage years, I started doing more. I mean, I was doing kids competitions, point fighting since I was a kid. Like that was like from 5 years old. I did a competition, 6, 7, 8 years old, all the way up. So I was doing those mat fights and full contact, continuous sparring. Accumulating. Who knows how many. But I didn't look at it like that. Keeping track record or anything. It was just what I did, just it was my lifestyle, I guess. My dad just brought me to all these things, and as I got older, I wanted to do more like the full contact, more ring sport, and I started with San Shao, which is Chinese kickboxing. um, there was more competitions through the kung fu community that I could go into, so I was doing that. As I started to progress and like the competitions were really nil, there was nothing. We decided to, well, I decided to do international kickboxing as an amateur, and with the low kicks, and stuff like that, the K1 style they call it now. From there, again, transitioning through boxing, started a little stint in boxing with boxer silver medalist Matvey Korobov. So I got into his camp with him for about 4 years, and so I got really good insight with really good boxing trainers from there. So I was kind of doing boxing, did Golden Gloves, all that. Um, was still doing MMA as an amateur. Um, I was under with American Top Team at the time. I was spending time with them, and kind of went my own way, separated off to go and just work things too, not just the gym, but just kind of wanted more things out of it, and ended up going back to Muay Thai and staying on that professional route to get to glory. got to Glory. Glory kind of phased out with the featherweights and the bantamweights, and with COVID and stuff, so it kind of left me up in the air to do MMA as a free agent. So now I'm here.
I mean,
I
that's a
think
long
that
old journey,
I
and
think that's about it. There's a lot of missing details, but that's as bridged a version as I can give it.
yeah, I mean, we could go for an hour. It seems because that was that was long. It seems like you've been on a very long journey, and it's only just begun in mixed martial arts.
Yep, only just beginning.
And May 6th, you get to write another chapter in your whole story. But lastly, I want to ask you a prediction. I know you talked about it, you want it to go to the whole 15, but ultimately, I want a prediction of how you win this fight.
KO, TKO.
Oh, I thought you said earlier that you might go to the scorecards, and maybe I misheard that.
No. I don't think it'll go to scorecards. There'll definitely be a finish.
Okay, well, perfect. That's a fantastic way to end it. I'm looking forward to compete on May 6th, Titan FC 76. It's going to be a fantastic show. Make sure you tune in. Asa Ten Pow writes another chapter to his story. It's going to be a fantastic episode, we should call it. So thank you all for joining. We're tuning in next time. And thank you very much for joining me. And the best of luck on May 6th.
Thank you, Lenny. Appreciate it.